Joffrey, Renly, Robb Stark are all thieves. They'll bend the knee or I'll destroy them.
The entire kingdom? The king asked, towards his council, his hands folded in each other, and his stern look, that men said was so similar to his father, looked out across the gathered hall. Every kingdom from the Red Fork down to the Stepstones now is in the hands of House Lannister. The Stormlands, Reach, Dawn, and the Blackwater all bow down to the gilded throne, answered the hand Lord Dirt. It has been coming for some time. The hunger of the lion knows no bounds, and now holds half the continent. Only Andalia and the North remain. While our realm has only grown in strength, the North has weakened. Twice now in over 100 years does no Stark sit in Winterfell, added the aged Benfrey Lancer between coughs. The wolf's right needs to be protected. Your great-grandsire Aengar II introduced it, that Winterfell must always be in the hands of House Stark, and as their allies it is our duty to protect them, added Aengar Seymour, the Master of Laws having a large book that had all the laws of the realm within it in front of him. The north is cold and barren. They will drain our men, and the west may take the chance to attack us, use our weakened state against us, Lord Dirts added in suddenly. We need to defend the rights of House Stark. This is an opportunity. We must take it, whatever it takes, replied Arlen Seymour, coming to the defence of his family member. Silence, Florian demanded before any of them were able to continue. The hall quieted down again as the king looked to his uncle, who was making notes for that book of his. Uncle, how many men can Andalia raise currently? The maester thought for a moment, and then answered without looking up. Considering the loyalty of many lords, I would say nearly 100,000. And how many men can the North raise? Florian replied quickly. Far, far less, answered the maester without a second thought. Satisfied, Florian's attention returned back to the gathered council. My lords, we will protect the rights of the Starks, but how many times has this house indebted themselves to the Sevenstars without repayment? I believe it is time to take back what is owed. The price for their debt will be the North. All lands under Andalia have prospered, and so will these lands. They will strengthen the kingdom, and if the Lion of the Rock dares to attack Andalia, I will personally bring his head to Sevensport. When we attack the north, our losses will be in the hundreds, and the conquest swift. Do any of you object to this? The king spoke in his charismatic yet commanding voice. None answered, all appeared convinced. Good, Lord Aengar, begin making claims for these lands. In 10 years' time, House Stark will rule Winterfell once more, and House Sevenstar's conquest will be completed. The duty set out by my forebears shall be one that I finally complete. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Grand Northern Kingdom of Andalia with High King Florian Sevenstar, the first of his name, the aged 16 king who is actually winning around the realm quite nicely. We've got 105,000 men now, so that's the best the army's looked in a hell of a long time. We're waiting for the Wildling War to end, which should be pretty soon. We'll unpause straight away and start letting things tick along before we look around into a few things and get things moving. Hopefully that war, yeah, it's at 100%, so that should end soon. The Night's Watch have finally won that war when they decide to declare that a win, and there we go. The High Chief Torrid's second invasion of the Night's Watch has ended. Perfect. We did actually have, if I remember rightly, one of the wildlings in our prisons, didn't we? And Hilario, where's Hilario gone? Right, we'll check. Right, so we've got Josian here, Josian of Antler Vale, Red Tree. A lunatic with one eye, he's ambitious, he's scarred. He does have a son. Nothing special about him. Can we ransom you? 70 gold. Nice. We'll keep you in house arrest for now then. No, not in there. We'll try and ransom you once we get enough gold. Well, when you get enough gold, we'll take that money. We can usurp the north, and we are going to plan on taking the north now. But I'm not going to usurp it. After looking into it, it will cause a lot of problems for what we want to do, so we're not going to do that, because if we usurp the north, it will break the north, and we will have the kingdom title. And then everyone will probably swear his fealty and be our lords, which then means we can't revoke any of these titles from houses like this random house that we've got in Winterfell, which without upsetting our vassals, so we won't be able to replace him, and we won't be able to replace other random houses that we want to replace with our custom houses. So we're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way, which makes better sense to how we've done it all along in this series anyway. We're going to get claims and we're going to expand by conquest into the north bit by bit. That way we can replace houses, put your guys' custom houses into the places where there's room for it. And it also means then that the kingdom title of the north never belonged to us. Because we don't want that, because if we have that, it means we have to destroy it, which will upset everybody in the de jure northern kingdom. Which means even though it makes no sense to upset the Fire Hands and the Blooms and the Racks and the Jossos, it will, just because of how the game works. So we don't want to have the kingdom title. And also, it's all part of the kingdom de jure as well, isn't it? Most of Andalia. So if we were ever to give the kingdom as a Lord Paramountcy, everything would go to the north. So we don't want to do that. We don't want the kingdom of the north title at all. We want to avoid taking that, but we will still take the north. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense to you guys, what I'm trying to get at. I think most of you who play the game will know what I mean, so we're going to do it the old-fashioned way. We're not going to usurp it. We're going to fabricate claims instead. We may even be able to actually do it through expanding the realm by conquest, which we do want to do. We can actually duel this king, which is interesting. I did give him a Stark sigil, but slightly different to the normal Stark sigil, because it was annoying me with that random name he had. Let's leave this on pause then. Yeah, where's Hilario gone? Let's have a look. So, our father, his mother, it was her brother. Where are you, Hilario, you absolute arsehole? There's Daemon. He was older than Daemon, wasn't he? Hilario died in the dungeons of High King Florian of Andalia. Why didn't it let me know that he died? Well, he lasted a good, what, 6 years or so in the dungeon? Maybe longer? So he lasted well down there, but he eventually rotted to death. Thank the gods for that. Screw you. And that literally does leave. Is Daemon the only one left? Alex, Daemon, and is Mage still alive? Yes, so, and then there were 3 of Aengar II's children left alive. Right. So we know where he's gone now. Let's try and make people like us a little bit more. So let's hold a summer fair for now, because it's cheap. We'll keep the peasants happy. And then we'll have a feast, and we'll hold a tourney as well. We'll get people on side. And then news has reached court that a claimant to my titles, Aengar, is hiring men to attack me. Aengar Seymour. What? What? Oh dear, I hope he is not prone to accidents. What the hell is going on with this random Aengar Seymour? And how is he even doing that? That makes no sense. Isn't he his son's son as well? That makes no sense. Why is he down in Sandstone? Oh my god, and the Iron Throne has been forged. We're going to need to change that name, aren't we? Because the Iron Throne makes no sense for the Lannisters. But yeah, the Lannisters have forged Westeros. So that is worrying. Adventurer threat. So that is actually something that is going to happen. That makes no sense. I'm going to do something about that, because that literally makes no sense whatsoever at all. He has a negative opinion of us. Weak claim on the Kingdom of Andalia. Weak claim on the Castle of Owenshold. No idea how. Ah, he's Alice's daughter. Okay. That makes some sense now, but it's still absolutely stupid. So we will keep an eye on that. Yes, we're going to get that feast going. Oh, Amir, just when the Seymours are actually becoming useful, they're going to do something like that. Yeah, but we will start fabricating some claims, so let's start doing that. Let's fabricate a claim on... What do we go for first? Let's go for here, which is Dawn Forest, and we'll get all of the Winterfell High Lordship first. I think it makes sense for us to get that area first. We'll leave our Spymaster scheming in the Royce lands for now, just to end that faction. I think we've only got the 2 factions now, House Royce and House Mud. If we can sway them, we've got several in the Crown Loyalists now as well, which is awesome. That's looking really good now. We'll wait for that summer fair to carry on. Is there any plots to kill us? Fabricate a claim on the Kingdom of Andalia, our vassal. That makes no sense, because he's a Crown Loyalist, and we can't command him to end the plot. Oh, the Mountain in Vale. Okay, I see what you're doing, but you've got quite a lot of backing for that, which is annoying. Is there any others against us? As long as there's none against us, I don't really mind too much. Yeah, there's no more against us, so I think we're okay. Don't need to worry about that too much. Let's let things continue, and success. Nominate a successor for The Sept of Snow. Okay, let's have a look what we've got. Have we got anyone with really good learning? Who isn't Damon, of course. Ermin, Bloom, Medgar. Yeah, none of these really make sense to become a Septon, to be honest. So, none of these even are Septons, so we'll leave that for now. We do have a child lacking in education focus, Prince Theon, who's coming along pretty nicely, actually. 6 martial, 6 stewardship, 3 diplomacy. He's got the idolizer trait, zealous, erudite, or frail. Willful, ambitious, brave, authoritative, stubborn, fussy. Okay, so he's doing pretty well. What do we go with? Well, we could go for martial, but we're martial, so that's a bit annoying. But he is best in martial, but he's also got 2 traits that could become good in diplomacy, and he's attractive as well, which is also good for diplomacy. He is a good fighter. He's kind, which is also good for diplomacy. Do you know what? I know he's got higher martial, but I'm going to go for diplomacy because I don't want us all to be the same. It'd be good if we could have a brother who's good in diplomacy. So it might not be the best decision, but I don't want us all to be exactly the same. I don't want all of the brothers to be beast fighters and only good in martial. We need some different parts. We need our family to be able to do different things. Every summer fair, mages and diviners flock to read signs, events and omens. Their interpretation of such things are often exaggerated, but there are still people who believe in their rituals and interpretations. Allow them to stay, which will upset the Septon, but it will keep the small folk happy, so that's all that matters really, isn't it, for what we're trying to do here. We can call that Grand Invasion, that would be good. High King Florian Sevenstar, I hereby invite you to participate in the tourney of Silverspear, where the best knights of the Lords of the North shall be invited to compete. Yeah, we'll take part. We're an ambitious young king, who's obviously a knight as well, and a decent fighter. Why not? Let's see what we can do. A lot of the famed warriors are disappearing as well now, so we might have a decent chance of actually doing pretty well in that. Every summer fair, mages and... Oh, we've just read this. Just had that exact same event. There's not really a lot more to check in on down south at the moment, in Andalia anyway, but that does look pretty scary now. The Iron Throne, Andalia are the north, but we do plan on taking this land, so it will only be 2 kingdoms soon. Hopefully the Iron Throne leaves us alone. The west, the south, whatever we want to call them. If anyone's got any cool names, please suggest them and we can look through those. A name that will suit all of that. Obviously the Iron Throne makes no sense, so we're going to need to think of a better name for them. We won't forward along too much. Who have we got an idle council member? Our Hand of the King. Let's get you to oversee the realm. Our council is very, very full of loyal people there, which is good. And our new Septon isn't doing anything. Just perform charity, please, in Sevensport for now. History is a subject that has always fascinated you, and you've spent the last few weeks studying the campaigns of Jon and Rickard Stark, kings in the north. There are many lessons to be learned from how they drove out the raiders landing in the east, going on to annex the neck to the kingdom of the north. I shall devote more time to studying this. We get +1 martial. Awesome. Does that take us to 23 martial? Yeah, wow. We're doing pretty well. And 106,000, nearly 107,000, which is awesome. The peddlers are loading their wares and merchants are taking down their stalls. The jugglers, strolling players and other entertainers are preparing to leave. The summer fair is over for this year. Gains us a bit of prestige. Keeps the small folk happy. We can't hold a tourney because we're currently going to be going to one, so let's instead hold a feast. And all my vassals will be there. Let's try and get everyone on side. After arriving in Silverspear, the first day of the tourney begins in earnest. You tilted against many lesser knights throughout the day, most of whom you unhorse easily. Now in the coming days, the final round of lists begin, and the opposition shall surely be more fierce. I shall ready my horse. Let's see how we do. We might find some decent knights to invite to our court as well. The Tourney Herald announces the competitors of the next joust. You've been drawn against Sir Harstin Oxter. You mount your charge, take a lance from your squire and ride to the end of the list as Sir Harstin does the same. He's a skilled fighter. He's not like, we should beat him. We should beat him. What's this little army here? As you close in on your opponent, you see an opening. You definitely guide your lance into strike while evading their charge. Hit. Hopefully we get a good hit there then. You expertly struck Sir Harstin with your lance right in the middle of his breastplate, causing your lance to shatter into 1,000 pieces. Perfect. A fine hit, I must say. We're through to the next round. You've been declared the winner. We gain 5 prestige, which is good. That's only going to help out. Looks like the North have got some sort of little rebellion on the go at the minute, which is obviously great news for us, so I'm not going to complain too much about that, if I'm honest. Who have we been called against next? Adron Bloom, who is a fat trained fighting knight. We should be able to beat him, surely. You close on your opponent and definitely guide your lance into strike whilst evading their charge. Let's see how we do with that then. The hapless Sir Adron Bloom had no chance as he is sent flying by your ruthless strike of the lance. He lands in the dirt with a sickening crunch at an awkward angle, and as a squire rushes to his aid, the crowd goes silent. As they realise the seriousness of his injuries. Oh dear. So I win then? He's maimed, he's lost an eye. Ouch. Could be worse. You have been declared the winner. Defeated Sir Adron Bloom in a fine joust. At least we got through. A tourney of Maiden's Gate. There's another tourney going on. It was Lord Winton Firehand and Sir Derriman Sevenstar's turn to joust in the list, and Sir Derriman won soundly in the final tilt. Lord Winton was sent flying from the saddle in a hail of shattered lance pieces. He landed with a sickening crunch, clearly grievously injured. Well, that's not good. He has lost a hand. How unfortunate. Ouch. At least he's alright. The Tourney Herald announces a competitor of the next joust. You have been drawn against Sir Derriman Sevenstar. He's wounded. That could work in our favour, so let's steady our horses. We could win a tourney here. When was the last time a 7-star won a tourney? I actually can't remember the last time we won a tourney. It's been a hell of a long time. I was simply passing time at the tournament when I came across two knights arguing over honour. I knew straight away that the argument was spurious and the result would be unnecessary bloodshed, so I stepped in and prevented it. I am more diplomatic than I thought. We gained 1 diplomacy. Awesome. Only 12 diplomacy, but that's okay. We will spend enough to satisfy everyone's hunger. We don't want to go lavish. We don't want to become fat. You expertly struck Sir Derriman with your lance right in the middle of his breastplate, causing your lance to shatter into 1,000 pieces. Awesome. A fine hit, I must say. Perfect. The Tourney Herald announces the competitors of the next joust. You have been drawn against Sir Benjen Firehand. You mount your charge, take a lance from your squire and ride to the end of the list. Sir Benjen does likewise. 15-year-old. Wow. Wow, a formidable fighter. Okay, that's not good. We could be unhorsed here by this Firehand Lord. Is this Winton's brother? I think it is. Yeah, and Winton's had a son already. Warren Firehand. Who is a giant. Interesting. Okay. It's a shame that Winton has lost his hand. I don't want him to die young. We've just had regency. Hopefully he stays alive. He's only one-handed. He should be able to survive that. Sir Benjen, though, this guy does look... He's a zealot, of course he is. But I'm a little bit... And Roth, of course he is. He's also brawny. I'm a little bit worried about this. We could end up getting unhorsed here. I really want us to win. I can't remember the last time our own character won a tourney. Most of the preparations for the feast have been made. Now I only have to send out the invitations and we'll invite everyone. Your opponent got the better of you and you met in the centre of the list. Your lance merely makes a glancing blow on their armour while their lance hits true. Hopefully we only get sent reeling and we can rehorse, but I don't think it's going to happen, is it? It would be nice. Dear King Florian, I thank you for your invitation, but I don't even know who you are, so whatever. So Benjen Firehand lance strikes you square in the middle of the breastplate, exploding into many pieces. The force knocks the wind out of you, and you are defeated. Well, that sucks. Hopefully we got like at least 3rd place or something. So Benjen Firehand has been declared the winner, defeating you and eliminating you from the tourney. Never mind. And Lord Samuel of the Fingers isn't going to attend. Well, yeah, he's our rival, so that was never going to happen, was it? Sir Ben Lancer and Sir Hosman were the next to joust in the list. After many tilts and broken lances, Sir Hosman was eventually unhorsed, leaving Sir Ben to be declared the winner. Sir Ben Lancer, who has also lost an eye. Lots of eyes being lost. And it's another homosexual. Interesting. He fought well. Who did he fight against? Sir Hosman. Okay, you're pretty decent. You've got the flu, but you're pretty decent. Who do you serve? Lordship of Oldcastle. You serve the Blooms. Interesting. And Lord Mooton will not be attending, and Lady Mud will not be attending. That's fine. Most of the people that do like us will hopefully be there if we're lucky. My liege, my work in Dawn Forest seems to have come to fruition by bribing, cajoling, extorting, threatening, and forging documents, blah, 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 blah. Wow, 250 gold. Ouch. Yeah, but we will use that. We need that claim. One child lacking a focus, Prince Enger, our youngest brother, who hasn't picked up any traits yet, but he's only 6, and he's very well-rounded, apart from in diplomacy. Let's go for duty. He is the son of Enger. We've gone for diplomacy with Theon. We've gone for martial. Let's go for... Yeah, let's go for duty with you. And I'm pretty sure that with Prince Lister we went for learning. So yeah, we've got a little bit of everything there. It's a shame that we can't have had another brother so that we could have had one in intrigue. One for each of the focuses. That would have been pretty awesome, to be honest. Sir Ben Lancer and Sir Benjen Firehand were the next to joust in the list. After many tilts and broken lances, Sir Benjen was unhorsed, leaving Sir Ben to be declared the winner. Sir Ben Lancer, who is pretty old. Is he the son of... No, he's the brother of Benfrey Lancer. Okay, interesting. Benfrey and Ben. Very imaginative by their lord father of House Lancer. Let's see when this feast is going to kick in. And after the feast, I'm going to host a Grand Rose Heart in Sevenstar. After many tilts, after several days, 2 knights remained undefeated. Sir Ben Lancer and Sir Garwin Brightmire, who's not really that over-impressive. He seems like a decent guy, actually. He's not the Lord, but he is... Ah, okay, so he's probably her uncle or something. And Sir Ben Lancer was declared the winner. When I opened the door, I saw no one, but as I stepped aside to close it, a group of acrobats cartwheeled, somersaulted, and tumbled in. They performed all sorts of tricks, and everyone watching exploded into applause when they finished. You'll be perfect for my feast. We've got plenty of money. We need to get people to like us. We'll try and do this. I don't recognise my friend Angus Seymour anymore. I didn't even know he was our friend. The things we had in common when we first met became friends has changed. No, you're my friend, and that won't ever change. But you're trying to revolt against us. Maybe that'll kick it aside and stop it from happening. I ain't got a clue. Why the hell he's down in Dawn? I don't know what's happening. I'm going to try and end it because it makes no sense. Your Grace from news from Highgarden. I don't care. If I'm perfectly honest, I couldn't care less. We can't hold a tourney until our feast is over, I'm guessing. Still got loads of members in the Crown Loyalist, which is good. How's our manpower looking now? 105. It's not changed too much. Gone down ever so slightly. Yes, we can use up the north. Fate smiles upon me. My wife Yolanda is pregnant. Wow. You really did not waste much time there, did you, Florian? That's awesome. We need an heir. Can we... No, we can't even send you to fabricate a claim anywhere else yet, Engar. We've got to wait still a little bit longer, which is a bit annoying. And we've got an open council position. Master of Whisperers. What has happened to our Master of Whisperers? Why is it not telling us anymore when people die? Has Arlen died? Your sibling? No, Sir Arlen. Whoa, okay. He has gone across the narrow sea. For some unknown reason, his son, Sir Colmore, died attending to chamber business. Ah, yeah, I think I remember that happening. Why have you... that doesn't make any sense. He's gone to Tyrosh. Is that Tyrosh? Yeah. Okay. No idea what's happened there. So we need a new spy master. Okay, let's have a look what we've got in the realm. We have Lady Mud, who hates us. Oh no, she likes us a little bit more. And we have Lord Winton of the Farthest Fields. Oh, it's been too long, hasn't it? It has been too long since we've had a fire hand on the council. Let's get you in then, Winton, the one-handed lord. I hope he gets over that. He's stressed as well, apparently, which is not good. Hopefully he gets over that. And we've got a special minor thing that needs fitting. A bodyguard. Who have we got? Got this random woman. No idea who. Ooh, Mance Chainbreaker. I thought he was our bodyguard anyway. Get him straight in there. And we need a new cupbearer. Who do we have? Lord Dirt. I think we will go with our Hand of the King. Yeah, we can trust him. May not be the most skilled man, but he's certainly loyal, so hopefully that will work in our favour. And tourney of Silverspear. Lord Walder's tourney is finally over. It was a fine competition. The guests have finally arrived in Sevensport. They have been given bread and salt as their guest right. All is now ready. The cooks have worked day and night preparing the food. Our stocks of brown ale have been replenished, and the palace has never looked lovelier. Welcome to my feast. Can we recall our... When can we recall you? 30th of the 8th moon. So still a while away. We got that claim ridiculously quick than it would seem. We just need to hold this. Well, as soon as the feast ends, we'll be able to do that and get that tourney underway in Sevensport. It's been a little while since we've had one. I want to bring the Rose Hearts back a little bit more. It keeps people happy. It's also interesting. You find lots of good knights and such. And we're 17 now. Is our wife 15 yet? No, she's not. Lord Berno Redstone has used his defence at the feast in Sevensport to present a petition for justice before the court. He claims that Lord Benfrey Lancer has subjected him to unwarranted and false blackmail and demands justice and recompense for this slight on his honour. Now, he does like us, but so does Benfrey. Are they rivals by any chance? No, they're not. Wow, he's got a lot of friends, old Benfrey. Oh, he's friends with Damon. Interesting. And lots of other people as well, it would seem. I would order him to pay recompense. That's going to upset him, though, which I don't really want to do. He's clearly not guilty, which is going to upset both of you. Lord Benfrey must be arrested. No, we're not going to arrest him. We'll order him to pay recompense. Hopefully it won't upset him too much. Upon her death, Janella has cashed out her shareholding in the Bank of the Crown. Okay. We paid our debt off, didn't we? We make so much money. Selene Wainwood has used her attendance at the feast in Sevensport to present a petition for justice before the court. She claims that Albert Dutton had her kinsman Lucas Wainwood murdered and demands that he is brought to justice. Who is Albert Stone? Albert Dutton? Awesome sigil. Love this. Oh god, you are a scary man. Bastard, malnourished, dishonourable, torturer, lunatic. This guy is scary as hell. We lose the trade just, so it's obvious that he did do it then by the looks. Oh, he's got kills. Yeah, he did do it. Okay, yeah, he must be arrested and made to answer for his crimes. Excellent. The more brown ale Lady Edmund drank, the more and louder she talked and laughed until she let out a loud snoring and fell face first into her plate. The servants discreetly removed Lady Edmund from the table and took her to her bedchamber. That's disgusting, yeah, but she's a crown loyalist, so I don't care as long as she stays on the side. Right, so we've got our new prisoner now. Where are you? Elbert Dutton. We can banish him to the Night's Watch. He's a murderer, though, isn't he? He deserves... Yeah, we'll banish him to the Night's Watch. We'll carry on doing like our father did. We will man the wall with as many men as possible. Good men, bad men, but man it with men. And it's men they need, because they keep coming under assault. As the feast begins, Lord Benfrey Lancer presented a petition before the court. He says a crime and banditry in Flint's Finger. That's your own land, mate. Yeah, go and sort it out. Do as you please, Benfrey. Lord Benfrey organised a group of men to tackle the bandits and rogues in Flint's Finger. He successfully captured or killed many prominent criminals and publicly hanged them as an example to others. The problem has now been stamped out. Perfect. And we gain prestige and piety for that as well, which is good. The feast will probably be over pretty soon. And then we'll host a tourney. We're still in the 7th moon, so we still can't move our freaking Master of Law, which is annoying. The past month, your bannerman, Master Dalton Seagrain, has been organising a reeve-in. Okay, well, best of luck, my friend. Best of luck. Oh, that reminds me, speaking of the Iron Islands, some good news, Raz, if you're watching, as I know you've been worried about it. Lord Yoren finally had his son. He must have had it in the last episode and we didn't notice. He has got Dan Saltsail, so at the age of 51, he's had a son. As a lot of us told you, it's never too late. Edric Firehand had no kids up until like his mid-40s and then popped out loads. So the last of the guests had arrived, returned home, and everyone agreed it was this year's greatest feast. Awesome. Improves loads of people's opinions of us, including Lord Royce I've seen on there. So he actually attended, which is good, because we do need to improve his opinion of us. Now let's hold a tourney, and we'll hold a grand tourney. Wow, 300 gold. But yeah, a grand tourney for all of the realm to attend to. Still got Benfrey locked away. Who are you? Can we release you yet? 'Cause you can ransom me 10 gold, but you're not worth anything. And you actually don't mind us that much. Feels like we can recruit you. Are you any good? Not really. How much would it cost to recruit you? Probably nothing. We can just do it. And we could probably marry you to someone. I don't know if we have anyone in our court that we could marry you to. Maybe one of the customs. I have got a couple of customs that I need to add. King Enger of Andalia has declared King Enger's claim on Andalia war on High King Florian of Andalia. Okay, Andalia is at a state of war. We should send ravens to the Great Lords, rallying them to the Crown's defence. Well, that is annoying when we're just about to host a tourney. So, Enger Seymour, King Enger the Fourth, apparently, wherever he is, he's down in the Free Cities. That's where Arlen went as well. Has called 30,000 men to try and attack us. Now we've got 130,000. That feast must have made a massive, massive difference. Okay, well I don't need to call up everyone, do I? Let's see who comes first. The best part about preparing for a feast, we will spend enough to satisfy everyone's hunger. The craven Alton Greyjoy has failed to answer my call to arms. Well, that's not surprising, is it? Let's be honest. That's not surprising. I almost forget that we have the Iron Islands at times. Let's call up the good old-fashioned old Andalian army, 218 men, because he's our rival. Ouch. About the Jossos. That's more like it. 3,500. 4,000 from the Rose Hearts. This is more like it. What about Lord Winton? 8,600. I think that's the most men I've ever seen from those lands. Are the Rex going to actually send his manpower? 14. Wow. 14,000. They've got 8,000 themselves, apparently. 7,000 from there. Yeah, it's all those Warriors' Watchmen, isn't it? The Warriors' Watch. And they've also got the Hooten men, which isn't a great amount of men. 14,000, though, is good. Like, let's send all of those there. We might not even need any more men. We will call up the men from... Oh, no, they come as part of that now, don't they? Let's see how many that is. We could bring the Grey Stark host. How much is that? 8,000 as well. Just shows the difference it makes having a king that people like. And it's not enough ships there, so let's send up the Morgath fleet to collect them. And that's probably going to be enough men to take down this very strange and random rebellion that's kicked off. I've got no idea What has caused this? The pregnancy has caused my wife to develop quite the unusual taste. Most of what she asks for dinner nowadays ranges from mildly unsettling to positively revolting. Make sure she gets all she wants. Are you sure you don't mean a quail's leg, dear? Hare's... Oh, God. Yeah, have whatever you want. It improves your health. She'll hopefully give us a decent, healthy child. I think we'll have enough men just from the old Andalian lands. I don't think we need to call up any men from the south, to be honest. I think we'll have more than enough manpower here. Let's merge the fleets together. That's a huge navy just from 2 provinces. Let's embark that host and sail them down to Sevensport. Where is this host of yours then? Let's have a look. King Enger, our cousin. He's a skilled fighter. It's a shame. What a waste. What a waste of a very, very decent man. He is leading troops in Tyrosh. I wonder if that's why Arlen went over there. My courtier, Sir Zophorus Etolan. That's Hilirio's son, isn't it? Marry as you please, mate. I couldn't care less. He's just married some random Andal North woman. That's fine. Tourney of Sevensport. It's time to let the tournament begin. And for the next 2 months, let all show their martial brilliance. We lose 200 prestige, gain 250... What? Why would we gain gold? Sadly, a small war will delay... it's been delayed. Okay, yeah, that's fine. That makes sense. Yeah, we'll get it. We'll get the tourney back underway afterwards. We did lose a bit of prestige for that, unfortunately. Enger Seymour is currently under my control, and his relative King Enger Seymour is currently opposing us. We can rightfully execute or imprison him. It's not his fault. Here's our Master of Laws, who we should be able to send. No, we can almost send. 30th, in 7 days, we can send him to start fabricating some claims on some more of those Stark lands. I can't believe this rebellion makes no sense whatsoever. It is so strange. Right, go and fabricate a claim on King's Course. The houses that are actually meant to rule, they're still ruling. So in Dawn Forest, have we still got a house? Okay, no, we've got a random house. In King's Course, we've got Cassel. Castle Kerwin, we've got Kerwinskill. Torrent Square, so we've no longer... Have we got any Tall Hearts around? No, doesn't look like it. I know we had a Tall Heart on the wall. He must have been the last one. And Dawn Forest, is there any Mollins around? There's one Lady Mollin there. Is that it? Are you the last of your house? Is there any males left? Torren? It doesn't look like it. That ancient house has all but died out. She's the last remaining member. We've got some Cassel. So yeah, looks like that house has died out, which means it's free land for a custom house. So it's not all bad, I suppose. Yeah, that house has completely died out. Apart from that poor old woman all alone. Yeah, we're going to have a huge host here. Let's merge them together. You know what? Let's call up the fleet of Sevensport. I may sail our armies down to the Riverlands. Cass Darkblade has arrived at your court. Cass Snow. Okay. Parent, Lady Sansa Firehand. Okay. So she's had a bastard. Oh no, Daffin Darkblade. So she's had an affair. Oh dear. Her daughter was born to Sir Daffin Darkblade and Lady Sansa Firehand, named Cass, but... Cass, nice name. Awesome name. Was you one of Cass's daughters? No, you actually wasn't. Donald Firehand. Okay. But yeah, good choice of name. It's a shame that it's a bastard, but good choice of name nonetheless. Where is Enger Seymour gonna land his host then? He's only got 29,000 men now. He leading troops in Cape of... Here he comes. He is on his way north. Very well, you come to us. You're making it easier for us. King Florian is going to make mincemeat of this. Wow, 130,000 men. That is insanely powerful. Under my garnets, my young ward Benfrey is slowly mastering the art of swordmanship. Oh god, he's become a skilled fighter. Wow, he's actually pretty decent. It's a shame that he's got all of those claims. I did notice, though, that his mother has had 2 more bastards. So that doesn't do her any favours, does it, in her plea of innocence? Doesn't do her any favours at all. Just waiting for these 8,000 remaining men to get here. King Florian he's leading the flank, that's fine, with Eldred Flax and Jorah Blackwood. Yeah, we'll leave it at that, why not? Where's he going to land this host? Okay, yep, something about the faith, not too interested. Where's he going to land these? He's only going to be able to bring his men in installments. And the Faith Militant has been restored in the south. Commander Malero Alorafi. Makes no sense. Okay. Yeah, whatever. Okay, that's really, really strange and really random. So I'm guessing Arlen Seymour has something to do with what Enger's up to, if they've both gone to Tyrosh. My young prisoner has finished his education in bookkeeping and administration. It's evident that he has excelled in his studies. He's a skilled steward. This pleases me. See, it's almost a shame to get rid of this poor guy, but we're going to have to. Your Grace, I would like to politely remind you of the gold that Andalia owes me. How do I owe you? What? How do I owe you this money? I don't have this money. You can have the interest for now, because you ain't stopping my tourney from happening. Right, let's wait for these 8,000 men. We're going to have more than enough men to... Let's march on to Oldcastle. They're going to get the penalty from landing. We're going to absolutely destroy this host of Tyroshes. This is such a random invasion. It makes no sense. What? How are we going to make sense of this in law? I have no idea. And wow, their opinion of us is changing massively. The Crown Loyalist has changed slightly. 3,000 men. Seriously? And they're going to get back on their fleet before we can get to them, which is extremely annoying. Let's march both of those onto Oldcastle. What's the supply limit in Oldcastle? Not good enough, so we'll march the army back to Sevensport, where we do have a huge supply limit of 60,000. That is insane. Right, 8,000 men here under the command of Manchester Chainbreaker. Where are they going to land their host now? We'll wait till they get far enough away from their fleet. 250 ships, so he's only brought 2,000 men, which is a little bit strange. Where's he taking the rest of them? If we can capture him straight away, though, it would be a massive help. Let's march those westward to capture him. We'll leave our main host there. Let's get Florian leading this host with Manchester Chainbreaker, and yeah, why not Byron? That's probably going to go back and get the rest of its men. Why has it only brought such a small amount? That makes no sense. This is such a random war. It makes no sense whatsoever. I really do not understand this war in the slightest. Oh, my liege. Perfect. 250 gold. We have a claim on King's Course. Wow, Enger, you are getting claims left, right, and centre, my friend. Right, yeah, let's chase down this host. This very, very random host. So we only need to get a couple more claims. Okay, it's marching into the Father's Ford, which is weird. Your Grace, since our own Sevensport has never been a shortage of soldiers. Awesome. You know what? Let's call up Ben Freelancer's 3,000 men under the control of Sansa Firehand. And can we call up the Neck Army as well? 2,000. Let's get them together, and they can try and capture that army of men wherever it is marching off to. No idea, but we can trap it hopefully in the Father's Ford. If we march this host to the Father's Ford, get these hosts together, yeah, we're going to trap them there, aren't we, in Cherwell or the Father's Ford, and hopefully end this rebellion pretty quickly if they've got nowhere to go. Yeah, I don't understand this rebellion. It makes no sense. This is one of the most random rebellions I've ever had. These factions are looking so much better. Oh, they have got a member, though. Lord Bernard the Hunter, Redstone of Wickerden. Okay, well, that sucks. You have a new heir? Edwin Sevenstar. Okay, so you've just been born. Not too sure about Edwin. See, there's other names that I'd like to have, but should it be named for our father? I don't know. I want to go for Ambrose or Enger. Ambrose or Enger. Have I got a coin or something to flip? Because I don't know which one to go for out of the two. Let's name after a random ancestor and see which one comes up first. Ambrose. Ambrose came up first, so Ambrose it is. Ambrose Sevenstar. Ambrose the Second. At the age of 79, your subject, Amara Brahma, died a natural death. Wow, 79. That's almost a new record. So we have an Ambrose. Possibly an Ambrose the Second. He wasn't born with any inheritable traits. That's fine. It's going to be interesting to see. So, yeah, it was either Enger or Ambrose, and we went for Ambrose for our grandfather. We will have an Enger, though. We've got to have one for our father. And the Lords of the North have approved the institution of the Low Faith Authority Law. Right, let's march these 6,000 under the control of Sansa Brandon and Danie's High Oak. And there we go. We've absolutely crushed that host. If we could capture him and end this war straight away, that would be pretty nice. Before we have to wait for him to bring his troops bit by bit. Here comes the fleet with a few more thousand on. And there we go. We absolutely crushed that host, but we were unfortunately not able to capture Enger Seymour. King Enger Seymour. Oh dear. Wow. Seymours are getting above themselves, it would seem. Crown Loyalist is looking better again. Ghoultown. Edmund, yes, she was in it anyway before, wasn't she? And Lord Upcliffe. Interesting. Oh, we can hire a new banker. Lose 15 go. Yeah, we'll do that because it's going to make the bank even better. Lady Selene of Eastward has formed an alliance with Lord Ronald of Runestone, which is worrying, but we have a new banker now, which is good. Make the bank expand a little bit more. We can ransom you now for 70 gold, so we will do that. Did I already do it? Yes, I did. Your Grace, I wish to express my consternation at the fact that Brandon Stark enjoys command of your armies when I should... Wow, you're actually pretty good of the Bloody Gate. But we do know how to smooth it over, so we will do that, and then we ain't got to upset anyone. But you could make a decent commander in the future, that's for certain. Let's crush this host here. And let's get these to chase down that host as well. What's the supply limit here in Silverspear? Pretty decent, so that's okay. And we've returned you for that gold that we are so desperate for, thankfully. Can we move our Master of Laws yet? Yes, we can. Let's move you on to Torren Square next then. And then we'll go for Castle Kerwin afterwards. Crush this other host. Can we offer white peas? No, you're not interested in that. We're going to try and capture then. Who is your wife? An Anvil. And you do have a son. Prince Harsley of Andalia, who is a giant. I think he will soon be a ward of King Florian, I think it's safe to say. And Enger's probably going to be getting sent to the wall, yeah, I would imagine. He is our family, so we don't want to get the Kingslayer trait, so we have managed to absolutely abolish that army. What is the supply limit in the Josso lands? Yeah, pretty good, so we'll march. We'll march over there. They're still being led by their leader, which is fine. So hopefully we'll get that done. Your Grace, your brother Prince Theon is responding well to my tuition. He is improving his skills. He's gained 2 intrigue. Interesting. 9 intrigue. Maybe intrigue would have been a better option. Well, no, not really. But he has got more intrigue than diplomacy. But he's not finished his education yet, so we'll see how he gets on. But he's doing well. Your Grace, news from Castle Rock of a great trial at court. Tilly Templeton was imprisoned by King Willard Lannister and stood accused of... Oh, nice. Okay. Interesting. Lord Wilbert Crakehall presided over the trial, during which the prisoner was ultimately found innocent of all charges. Now, that is interesting. So his wife hasn't done anything, which is interesting because she is the mother of the Lord Corbury. Let's wait for them to march into the Rose Heartlands and then we'll attack them afterwards. Lord Samuel of the Lance inherited High Lordship of the Lance and other titles from Lord Benfrey the Bear. No, Benfrey the Bear died of severe stress at the age of 58. Wow, there was a hell of a lot of stuff wrong with him. Wow, headache, fatigue, one-handed, vomiting, abdominal pain, cough, stressed, depressed, a drunkard. Yeah, it's amazing he lasted as long as he did. So, who is the new Lord now? Lord Samwell Lancer, who is a giant and a trained fighter. Okay, he's not quite Benfrey the Bear, is he? But he'll do. Which means we do now need a new Master-at-Arms. And do we really have anyone that good? We've got Eldred Flax. He's probably the best choice, isn't he now, to be honest? Oh, but we do have Mance Chainbreaker, who is a formidable fighter, which would be pretty good, actually. Flax has got higher martial, but Mance is a formidable fighter. I'm going to go for Mance, and we'll get him to train the children. Special title, we need a new commander. We'll go for this Tollett guy, because he's pretty good, actually, to be fair. We need a Paramount Knight. Oh yeah, Benfrey Lancer was that for such a long time. Paramount Knight, we don't really have... We're in a bit of a transition period, aren't we, at the moment? We don't really have anyone that good to do it, to be honest. Let's go for Sir Mance Chainbreaker for that as well, why not? I'm sure he'll serve as well in that regard. Can't believe Benfrey the Bear's died. And there we go, let's attack that host in the Rose Heartlands, in the White Star. We're at 48% now. I'm starting to think that Demeanor might fancy me. Demeanor High Star, who is married to some randomer. Ronald High Star, our friend's mom. Let's make a move. I went to Domina's chamber and gave her a good tumble. It's good to be king, King Florian. Oh, and Yolanda Firehand has come of age. And she looks very Firehand, doesn't she, with the black hair. Wonder if that woman will become our lover. Isn't she like our cousin? After months of studying the campaigns of John and Rickard Stark, you have acquired many fascinating insights and gained new wisdom in military matters. You realise that the art of war might well be worth studying. Awesome, we gain 1 marshal, 1 stewardship. Our marshal is very impressive. Now that'll be 24 now, won't it, when it goes up? Let's go and hopefully end this rebellion, which is a really annoying rebellion, isn't it, to be honest? Let's split this army in half. Just so that we can send half under Andrew Flax to go and attack that. And end that as quickly as possible for ourselves. Really, no, I don't understand when they've got 250 ships, why they didn't bring the entire army up north and actually make a go of this. Oh my god, Enger, you're taking the absolute piss now. You're quickly becoming my favourite Master of Laws, even if you are making us exceptionally poor by all these claims you get. But we only need Castle Kerwin and Winterfell now, and we've got that entire High Lordship, and then we can go and invade for it, and then land a start back in control. The scribes and coinmasters of the Bank of the Crown have put together the bank's accounts for the past few years and are ready to present their findings to the various key holders and shareholders. Income from loan interest, wow, a lot. List of debtors, loads for a lot of money, so we are making a lot of money, which is good. The Starks owe us money, which is interesting, and lots of people in the East owe us money. Awesome. So the bank's doing well, which is great. We could capture him here. I don't think we are going to capture him, unfortunately, but we did crush his army. We're at 91%. I'm not going to offer white peace now. We may as well wait and destroy him now. Upon his death, Master Corrin has cashed out. Okay, that's fine. I want to end this war before this episode. Can we move our Master of Laws yet? When can we move you, Enger? On the 12th of the 9th moon. So soon. Pretty soon. That's not too bad then. I believe that one of your vassals can be discouraged from associating with conspiratorial factions if the proper leverage is of turn. Who is it? Lord Roland of Runestone. We'll ask politely. Might not work, but we'll ask. He does have a better opinion of us now. I don't recognise my friend Ronald anymore. The things we had in common when we first met and became friends have changed and vanished. Whenever I meet him, I ask myself, is this the person I want to be friends with? Can we really be friends despite all our differences? Well, you did just shag his mom. No, you're my friend. That won't ever change. That won't change, Florian. 130,000 men still. We could have a bastard on the way as well, which is going to be interesting. Well, that didn't work too well, did it, Winton? Are you scarred as well now? One-handed and scarred. Oh my god, you are a true firehand. I freaking love you. I love your brother as well. I may invite him to court because he could make a very good King's Guard. Just waiting for the remnants of this random host to arrive at some point. And here come the final ships of men. I think this will be enough to end the war as soon as we crush this host. It is being led by Enger himself. Do you know what? Let's get these 22,000. Let's get Florian in charge of it. Let's go for Andrew Tollett, who's pretty good. I might give him a better name. And we'll go for Manch Chainbreaker. And let's go and end that. The ships are sailing off, so they're not going to be able to escape. Hopefully this will be able to end the war. The most pointless... This is one of those ones. It's very similar to the one that we... Oh, we can move our Master of Laws. It's very similar to the one we had with the Bolton cousin, wasn't it? A few generations ago. I can't remember. Was Lyanna Queen at the time, or was it under Lister? Might have been under Lister, to be honest. Let's go for Castle Kerwin. And then just Winterfell left. Crush this. This will end this war. This pointless war. And now we're going to have to save money back up before we can have our Rose Heart that I wanted. But we have still got 2 places to fabricate claims on before we can expand. Lord Harmon of the Neck has inherited High Lordship of the Neck and other titles from Lady Sybil the Young, who died of a bad case of the flu at the age of 61. The not so young. One of the last remaining living people from the War of the Stars. And there we go. We have won this very pointless war. Enforced demands, yes. The King Enger's claim on Andalia War has ended. High King Florian of Andalia has won. What a stupid, stupid war. Let's disband all of our men. Let's disband our ships. We have you. Can you train the troops? Not the troops, sorry. Can you train the children, please, Mance? You do have a son, don't you? Yes, Danish Chainbreaker. Mance Chainbreaker deserves some land. I am going to give him some land at some point. And he's another homosexual. I can't remember him being a homosexual before. So the homosexual is spreading. And Sir Enger Seymour has arrived at your court. So Arlen Seymour has arrived at you. Oh, in prison. So Arlen Seymour did betray us, it would seem. He did betray us. Sir John Seymour, who was our former Kingsguard, has arrived at our court. Okay, so we've got three Seymours who have all betrayed us. Now that really, really sucks. And we've got, whoa, who are all these random Tyroshes that we've now got in our custody? Do you know what? I think we should keep these in our custody and work out what to do in the next episode. Lord Dane's High has provided me with proof that someone has been slandering me. Maester Damon, now keep that information to myself, and the Wars of Andalia have subsided for now. And I think with that, we'll end this very, very crazy episode, guys. So thank you all so much for watching, as always. I really hope that you've enjoyed. Please don't forget to like, comment down below, and subscribe if you haven't already. And hopefully I'll see you all very soon for the next episode of the Knights of Andalia. Aengar Seymour sat on a ledge, behind some rocks hiding him from sight on a chestnut palfrey, tall grass whipping in the wind. He gazed out far into the sea. He could see war galleys with his banner, his father's banner, and his mother before that. He could see his grandson's men making their way, rowing, and King Aengar Sevenstar, fourth of his name, donning a crown of gold. It was the crown that his ancestors briefly wore before they were conquered by the Mudds. A circlet of plain gold, one large emerald running down the bridge of his nose, and 400 tiny emeralds on the back linked together with silver cascading like willow branches. Aengar remembered counting them as a boy. Gold, Aengar thought. It had built his city, his family, and now gold on his namesake's brow may ruin them. He wanted to bellow, "It's a trap!" But Aengar was manacled with iron fetters. He was no prisoner, but Florian needed to ensure no further treason. As Aengar Sevenstar leapt off his rowboat into ankle-high water, he looked the image of his uncle Aengar III of his name, red hair cropped and a beard. Aengar, fourth of his name as he was parading himself, wore a golden breastplate, half with golden vines, the other with a ruby-red half-star. One of the last ships to do so. Some 10,000 men had gathered. By reports he had 30,000. But those were on the ship still pulling into the bay. One arrow flew aflame over the sand dunes and landed in the wet sand hissing, as smoke rose from it. Aengar Falstar, or Rotten Branch as people named him, began to shout, recognising what the arrow meant. It was tradition for House Seymour to fire one arrow to lay down the challenge of battle. Now a son of Willowood found himself the other side of that baleful sign. "Spears and shields!" he bellowed, and his cousin John Seymour, Knight of the Kingsguard, Oathbreaker, bellowed the same. Aengar began to shout in the common tongue, though the Tyroshi sellswords knew not a word of his words. He turned to Valyrian, broken and uncertain. In his words he stuttered, as the Tyroshi gave each other worried glances. It was then that the Red Star of Sevenstar, Red Hand of Firehand, the Eye of Silvereye, Golden Crown of Richards, the Rack Moose Morgath interlocking rings, the instantly recognisable Roseheart sigil of red and black, the Foeman Fox and Josso axes came thundering over the sand dunes, their horses' hoofs kicking up sand. Aengar could feel every hoof as they collided against the sand, as if they were his heartbeat, helpless and torn. The crown, or my boy's boy. It had been hard, though Aengar had decided that this was Arlen's work, not Aengar's, and he had convinced Florian so. They called Arlen Kingmaker now, though the reign of Aengar IV of his name was about to end. It was written in the stars. Some 30,000 men had been raised, but only the knights and heavy horse charged, Florian at their head just ahead of everyone, on his black warhorse, Fury. Mother's Mercy whirling around his head, its dots of colbert seemed like bolts of lightning breaking through the steel sky. Lines of Tyroshi spears quivered as the false King Aengar started raging in the common tongue. "I am amongst you at this time, not as for my recreation or sport, but being resolved in the midst and heat of battle, to live or die amongst you all, to lay down for my gods, and for my kingdom, and for my people, my blood, and my honour." He was cut off as two more forks of armoured foot charged from left led by Eldred Flax, and right led by Sir Mance Chainbreaker. They were encircled as Sevenstar warships led by Dane's High Oak crashed into the Sellsail fleet. Some ships began to founder, others stood firm and fought. Distant cries of anguish echoed through the narrow valley. Tyroshi cravens dropped their spears and shields and jumped into the ocean fully armoured. To a watery grave Anger whispered to himself on his cliff, his palfrey whining. "Run, boy, run!" Anger had felt guilt. It was he who arranged his son's marriage to the princess from which his grandson claimed the throne. Florian let out one last blast with a war horn. He was fully ornamented in red enameled plate, the crown of winter on his brow, without a helm, his flowing black hair bearing down on Enger's grandson like so many panthers. As they crashed together, row after row of spears fell, as Florian wheeled around time and time again, his hair a black fury. They all fell away. Tyroshi dead by the wayside, the pettiest lords and landed knights were captured or killed. John Seymour had been wounded by Sir Benjen Firehand and captured on the base of the cliff that Enger sat on. His horse snorted as if it were in the thick of it. Enger thought he was going to heave. His king, the boy he had ruled for briefly, and his grandson bore down on each other. Mother's mercy against Enger's shortsword. King on king, man on man, cousin on cousin. They had fought with wooden swords, but now there were no master-at-arms to agitate this struggle. The two were well matched, even as boys. Florian was fiercer, Enger was braver. Their swords clambered together, an amalgamation of steel. Florian beat King Enger IV of his name into the dirt. He lifted his sword. Enger screamed from the cliff. "No!" Florian looked up at his master of laws and relented, remembering their kinship. He knocked Enger's crown off his head contumposely, as if he weren't angry but disappointed. Florian bellowed, "I will not spill any more blood. Kill the Tyroshi, but no man of Andalian descent. I will not continue as my father did. It is a poor king who makes war on his own people." Florian spoke, walking away from his cousin, stared at him briefly as if to say, "Why?" They had been fast friends for the later years of their adolescence, but now the fruit of their youth rotted before their eyes. Sir Mance Chainbreaker and Eldred Flax lifted the Neil boy who had so briefly been a king and dragged him up the dune. Under the gaze of Enger, his grandson looked up at him, and for a moment, just a moment, he returned to being the babe he held in his arms 17 years ago. Enger could feel his eyes watering. "Mercy, your grace, he is a boy, a stupid boy, led astray by the whispers of false men. Mercy, my king," Enger said to Florian, his horse composed and calm as if he hadn't just fought in a battle. Florian didn't even meet his eye. Enger didn't think of his legacy for a moment, but all he had built was crashing down. For a time the golden tree was above all others. Now members of his own house bore woodsman's axes and were hacking at its log. The rise of House Seymour had finished, their roots reaching no further, as this cumbersome tree began to topple, its roots rotting.